There's been a lot of hype lately about Quake, the next hot title from the bad boys who brought you Doom. With all the rumors, myths, and misinformation flying left and right, we felt it was time to set the record straight. Since the gang at it isn't talking, we went net surfing. What appears following are the new facts we were able to glean. Keep in mind that although we've taken pains to document multiple references to these rumors, they're still not 100% reliable. As id's American McGee might say, everything we say here could be lies. It goes without saying that this will be a first-person action game much like the last two id games. You play the title character, Quake, who has been described as Thor-like. In other words, he's a godlike being who carries a big hammer, and if you piss him off, he'll pound you into the ground. Strangely though, there will be even more powerful players, uber godlike maybe, who can change the game environment and rearrange the level while others are duking it out. The biggest improvement over Doom is the fact that Quake will be true 3D. This will allow rooms to be stacked atop one another. It will also make the rooms look more realistic. For example, this is Doom. This is Quake. This is also Doom. And again, this is Quake. Another big improvement on the 3D front is that the important objects in the game, including players and monsters, will be true 3D polygon models instead of sprites, allowing you to see them from all sides instead of merely 8 standard views. One other benefit of going completely 3D is that some character movement will incorporate realistic physics modeling. When you get hit really hard, you may stagger back and possibly fall. Fall off a platform, and rather than drop straight down as you did in Doom, you'll tumble through the air and your view will tumble accordingly. Sound effects will also be modeled. Hit something in its left side and a sound will appear there. Although other sources have reported that Quake will run in 320 by 200, 320 by 400, or 320 by 480 only, this 640 by 480 screenshot seems to belie this. Our bet is on the rumor that you'll be able to run Quake in whatever resolution you want, subject to the speed you're willing to accept. One fact that seems irrefutable: the texture maps used in the game will be 256 colors, but the game will run in either 256 or 16.8 million colors, the advantage being that lighting effects will be superior in true color. Speaking of which, the designers have placed a lot of emphasis on lighting in Quake. Unlike Doom's sector-based lighting, Quake will allow level builders to put light sources anywhere. Based on the intensity of the source, the light will diminish with distance, creating very realistic-looking lighting effects. Even more interesting is the fact that objects in the game will have an opacity rating, which will determine how much light passes through them. Objects with 100% opacity, for example player models, will actually cast a shadow when they stand in front of a light source. Perfect for spotting an ambusher hiding around the corner during a deathmatch. No doubt you're asking yourself, just how many players can deathmatch at once? 6? 8? The truth of the matter is, the game itself will not limit the number of players in a multiplayer game. Rather, it's been designed to be client-server rather than peer-to-peer. What this means is that one machine, whether it be DOS, Windows 95, or some flavor of Unix, will run the server software. Each player gets on another machine and runs the client software and logs into the server. Depending on how powerful your server is, you can have as many clients on at once as you want. The best thing about this arrangement is that id plans to make the source code for the server available so it can be recompiled for any platform you want. This is intended to simulate Quake-based internet sites and location-based entertainment centers. If making WAD files for Doom was a fond pastime of yours, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is Quake will not support WAD files. The good news is designing new levels should actually be easier than it was in Doom. Quake gameplay elements are stored in external code modules. Actual objects in games are stored in standard formats. Models of players and monsters are in an alias format. The maps and entry lists are text. The code for controlling levels is in a C-like custom scripting language, and textures are LBNs. If these pictures have whetted your appetite, take heart in that you're not alone. It is planning no outside beta testing, in light of the disastrous piracy of the Doom betas, so no one outside id will have a copy of Quake until Christmas. In the meantime, all we poor CD mag writers can do is speculate and drool.